record button because I usually forget this. All right, so let's get started. Can you guys hear me fine? Just type in yes, no. Can you guys hear me fine? My chat says yes, you can hear me fine. So hopefully you can. Right. So let's get started. Oh, cool. That's good. That's good. All right, guys. One of the things we're going to talk about today, I think I did a couple of things. First of all, good on you, Sandy, for taking that initiative and taking the work on to start doing the Facebook Live. A lot of people, I don't know if you guys seen the message. So let me speak to you guys if you haven't seen that Facebook message yet. So what I posted a couple of days ago is for people who want to accept or want to grow their business really quickly. So one of the things you need to start doing is start taking that initiative and start taking the action and start doing some of the videos, because Sandy has accepted that and she started doing the Facebook Live. So we've got two people doing the Facebook Live, trying to get them familiar with the Facebook and the way you do the video. Because remember, I think one of the things you guys need to remember it, like as an expert, as an authority, right? One thing we do it all the time. We share our content. We share our learnings. We share our experience. So if you're not putting your content out there, if you're not teaching people, what are you doing is you're missing out on a lot of stuff at the moment. Because if people don't know you, there is a big problem. People need to know you in your industry. People need to come to you as an advisor. People need to come to you to understand it. If you're going there and you're not speaking to people today, if you're not going out, putting yourself out there, whether it's a Facebook, whether it's a webinar, whether it's doing the live classes, you're missing out a lot of chunks. So you need to get out of that comfort zone. You need to come out of that and start doing that, start sharing your content. So all of you guys in last many years, have accumulated so much knowledge, so much wealth of knowledge. You need to start sharing that knowledge with other people, because remember what we talked about. I think few times we talked about this. There is three type of people out there today. One of the things is people, there is what people been doing. This is what I observed, right? So this is what I found out with a lot of people. People have started to say that, like I'm the guy, come and buy from me. Like, some of you guys done a lot of stuff. This is come from a job mindset. If you're coming from a background, from a job mindset or job place or an employee, what employees do is, I'm an accountant, please buy from me. I'm an IT guy, please hire me. I'm a coach or I'm a business guy, I'm a consultant, please buy from me. This is how we've been doing it for a long, long time. But what happens is most of the people, and believe it or not, 80, 90% of the people out there are doing this. They just talk about themselves. They say, I'm the guy, please come and buy from me. But one of the biggest thing is, missing out there is a second type of people. They're the people who say, without even saying buy from me, they don't even use this word called buy from me. What they started doing is they started saying to people is, this is how we solve your problem. They started to talk to people and started to solve their problems without even people asking them about the problem. So people don't come to them. So they started to share their experience. So I usually call that experience marketing. I think of that as experience marketing. What it means is you're giving people experience about your product, your services, people coming to you for that. So what it does is this gives people an experience before they buy it. Give you my perfect example. This is a physical thing example. So a few years ago, we wanted to buy a car. And we searched around. We went to Audi. We went to, Mercedes, all their showrooms and stuff. People said, oh, sorry, we can't do it today. We can't do a test drive today. We can do other day. A lot of people sort of either sort of made an appointment. We went for a drive. So there was a standard work, right? So like you call any car company, you can get a drive any day. This is very standard stuff. People do it all the time. So what happened? There is something which happened, kind of a non-standard, which was sort of intrigued. I didn't think at the time. So now I started to think how that worked. So we went to the Jeep dealership, and the guys at the Jeep dealership said to me, Jag, what you can do is you can take the car at your home and keep it there for a day. So take the car and keep it there for a day at your home, right? So you don't need to do a test drive. You don't need to do a test drive for an hour or something. You just go out there and keep the car for a couple of days at your home, or probably for a weekend, right? So what happened is I didn't want to buy Jeep. I had no intention to buy Jeep at all. So, but the guy gave us that experience of keeping that car and driving that car. So we got so attached to that, instead of we going and buying something else, we ended up buying the Jeep. Right. So now I look back, that's called experience marketing. So you guys, and I do the same thing, right? I run a lot of webinars. I run a lot of free events. The reason I do that is because people need to have experience about your brand, experience about your product. So if people don't have experience about your product, they're not going to buy from you, right? So give you one other example. So what I did is, and this is very funny, right? I always test the market. I always go out in the market and test the market and see how the market responds. So when you go into the market and people don't know you and say you're saying to them to buy from you about anything, whether you're trying to sell your services, whether you're trying to sell your products, whatever you're trying to sell them, if they don't know you, if you haven't given them any sort of experience from you, what do? It's going to be really hard sell, because that's where, you probably have realized if somebody comes at your door and they start doing a knocking or door knocking and say, please buy this from us. Doesn't matter what that person does, how much good trust you have with that person, it's really hard to sell at the time because people haven't experienced that yet. So my advice would be, if you haven't already started doing it, and I know some of you guys haven't started that because I haven't seen any content, start putting your content out there. Start doing that work. Start taking yourself out of that comfort zone and start doing the work. Because unless you do it, it's going to be really hard for you to sell that, right? So does it actually make sense? Type it in. Does it make sense to you at all? Right? Are you planning to do it? What's your plans are for this? Because what's going to happen is, guys, you need to realize that one of the biggest thing, I was doing a slides today, right? Let me sort of open up. This is what I wanted to do. And then I sort of stopped, and I won't make any difference if I sort of talk about. So let me talk through this, what I was doing earlier. I'll show it to you guys. I actually started putting this together. So I've seen it again and again, right? One of the things which I'm seeing, if you haven't been able to make any money today, if you're not making any money today, right, in the business world, if you're not making any money or zero money or less money, the way I looked at it is that because you guys are not making enough offers, you're not letting the people know what you do. If you're not telling the people what you do, if you're not jumping on the call and speaking to the people, it's just going to be really hard sell. Someday, one day, when you decide to do that, you still have to make calls. You still have to speak to the people. The second thing you guys are doing is you're thinking or overthinking way too much. You're overthinking too much. Because of thinking or overthinking so much, you pretty much cooked that stuff. And it's been sitting there for a long, long time. You're not taking the step. You're not getting out of your comfort zone. You're not taking the action. What you're trying to do is you're trying to create the end scenario in your mind. You're trying to build everything till the end today. Right? Whatever that might be for you. You're thinking that if I want to run this is what's going to happen. If I do this is what's going to happen. All the story you're doing, they're all happening in your mind today. So, sorry, Vicky's saying he can't hear me. Can everybody message, please, if you guys can hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, Payne, can you hear me? Yeah. Vic, I think it's your probably the device you at. Other guys can hear me fine. Yep, my mic's working fine. So I think check your device, Vic. Um, See, something's going on with your device. Otherwise, yeah, see what's going on with the device you have. What's the question here? Who raised the question? What is the question, guys? Sorry, just give me a second. I'm looking at the question. Absolutely. Sorry, Pahen, yeah, absolutely. We'll send you the link. So you already have the access to the courses, so you can actually go back and look at the Zoom link. Yeah, so I'll send the link. I'll put it on a Facebook page. So if you've been away, Pahen, what happened in last couple of days or couple of weeks? What I did is I put a challenge on the Facebook to everybody to actually start doing Facebook lives. Right, so all of you guys need to come out of the comfort zone and start doing something, and start making an effort. Start putting your content out there. Right. So what we were saying earlier, that if you are not doing something today in your business, one of the things that's happening right now is you overthinking too much. You way too much overthinking, way too much, and you're not taking that step because of that. You need to start, start doing the action work, because unless you do the action work, nothing's going to happen, right? So you need to work on that. The other thing you need to start doing, right? So as I said earlier, you need to start making phone calls. And I don't know how you're planning to do this, what plans you have. Like a couple of you guys I know are really fully actioning stuff right now, right? They are fully in action mode. They have courses, they have events organized, they're speaking to the clients, they're serving people, they're onboarding clients. I haven't seen any question from all of the other guys. The reason you don't have questions today, because you're not taking the action. So if you're stuck somewhere, you need to raise your hands. You need to raise your hand and ask for help. Because unless you ask for help, it's just going to be really hard, because you need to learn to ask for help, right? So let's open up, guys. I'm just going to open up for some of you guys for Q&A before I get to the next level. So let's open up. Any question from your side? I know Pehin just asked one question. So anybody else? If you guys want to talk, let me know. I'm happy to open up to let you guys talk as well. Any questions? Raise your hand or put it in a QA. I'm trying to see the question, guys. Sorry, I've got two screens here. All right. Did anybody hear from Simon today? I haven't heard anything from Simon yet, because I tried calling him. So I don't know what happened. So he put a message on a Facebook today. So don't know what happened in regards to his health. I'm trying contacting him. Haven't heard anything back from him yet. So if you guys been speaking to Simon at all, please let me know, or at least some sort of message what happened, because something happened in his world that sort of changed some stuff. All right, guys, any questions at all? Are you guys taking action? Let me ask this from your side. So let's go one by one. I really want to know what's going on your side of the world. So I'm going to start calling the names now. So Pehan, you there? Can you talk right now? Are you at a place where you can speak or you can type? All right, looks like he's not. Penny, are you at a place where you can speak over the phone on this, or you can type? Okay, so let me allow you to talk. Okay, all right, Penny, let's go, brother. I'll
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
you on.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Let's have a chat. What's
Yeah,
going on, Penny? You okay to talk?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Ben, you there? Oh, sorry. My fault. All right, Ben, sorry. My speaker was off.
Yeah,
All right, I can hear
yeah.
you.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely, I can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah, cool. I've been in China,
All right.
stay a few weeks in China, and I've met a lot of people in the crypto world,
Oh, yeah,
and
cool.
yeah, look at how the market is doing.
Yeah.
Um, during this time, I've actually started my WeChat channel.
Yeah.
You know, targeting using the Chinese language, and I've got almost 200 followers already.
How many?
Almost 200 followers already.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, and mainly just educational, free. I'm not charging anything. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to gain a bit of access to people,
Yeah.
and I understand with a game of WeChat, you know, if I can have 5,000 followers on my channel,
Yeah.
that means I've become an influencer in the circle. Then you know, from that point onwards, making money is just it will be a lot easier. 200 is just the starting number,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at building that up in to 1,000
Yeah.
and organically because you know I try to approach a lot of WeChat marketing platform, but they wouldn't touch anything that talk about ICO, blockchain,
Yeah.
and cryptocurrency because of the laws and regulations in there.
Yeah.
So the only way I can do it is would be organic growth.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
can I sort of suggest
Mm,
one thing
mm,
which you can do it as well?
yeah.
If you want to grow your community or in that space, I would highly
Mm,
recommend it you organize a webinar or something
yeah.
like a very strategically placed an education
Mm,
event where people
mm,
subscribe and come and listen to you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not random chat, because what's going to happen is a lot of people just going to put messages there, which is good. You need to have them in that place, but you really
Mm,
want to give them something. So
yeah.
organize that, because out of those 50 or 100 people going to come in, a couple of them is
Mm,
going to be interested in learning,
yeah.
learning from
Mm,
you.
yeah. And
Right.
I found a lot. I had quite a lot of struggles. Now, you know, right now every day I have like 20 to 40 LinkedIn invitations,
Yeah.
and out of those 20 to 40, I will have at least one or two ask me to become their advisor
Yeah.
on their ICO project.
Yeah.
But so far, I've wasted a lot of time reading white paper. I've wasted a lot of time talking to them. You know, at the end of the day, it's not a lot of progress because
No.
you know, first of all, they don't want to pay. They
Yeah.
only want to give tokens,
Yeah.
and second, you know, they say, you know, look, we want to give you commission on the
Yeah.
funds that you're gonna get for us. So
Yeah.
actually I found myself like stuck and waste a lot of time and effort
True.
in this domain. That's why I'm trying to move away and
Yeah.
have a look what's happening in in the Chinese market. But the Chinese market really at the moment is really it's a government crackdown on everything, and everybody's downplaying right now. And I'm trying on WeChat. You know, I try to be as discreet as possible because now the moment you talk about ICO, you out. So you know, I want to still stay in this crypto space, but you know, I'm somehow finding myself banging into a brick wall.
Yeah. So can I okay, let me suggest you on that. So what I
Mm,
think we all collectively should do. So you got to
mm,
understand it, all this market cap, right, globally about
mm,
cryptocurrency makes a
mm,
huge difference. So market is down at the moment. So there's no more money getting or
mm,
coming into these business world at the moment. So because there is no money coming in, they can't pay us.
mm,
You know, that's the
mm,
big problem. So
mm,
now I would highly recommend you expand yourself like this.
mm,
So
mm,
go a bit wider. Don't go a bit down, vertical, go wider. Means that you are a
mm,
business coach, right? A business guy.
mm,
So you open up, you help people in the business world, including blockchain.
mm.
So don't limit yourself with the blockchain only. Expand that and apply the same principle in the business world.
Yeah, which is that's what I'm doing at the moment
Yeah.
actively.
So
So you know, I really try to get into this blockchain game. You know, that's been my desire for a long time,
yeah,
and I've you know, I produce a lot of content in Chinese because I think the Chinese market is there. It's
Yeah.
just it's just really restricted, and especially in my visit to China, I went to a few events, and people still talking about it. There are still startups being funded by
Yeah.
companies like Alibaba, and there's still innovation in there. But
Yeah.
as much as as far as we talk about like a normal like participation by everyday people, it's just not possible anymore.
Yeah.
So there's no money coming in. It's only few venture capitalists, which they are greedy, and they're very careful these days. And I've met a lot of entrepreneurs in China, and I talked to them, how does your advisory network all work, and how do you pay your advisors and stuff. And a lot of them, they said, we only have two type of advisors. One is people like Da Hongfei, or Charles Lee,
Yeah.
or the
The
prominent
big
people
guys.
that
The
that
big guys.
already
Yeah.
sit on the top. We pay
Yeah.
them a lot of money just
Yeah.
for them to be on our profile. Or otherwise, there's another type of advisor we get is people going to get us funds. We give them a percentage. And I'll say, if this is the way how it runs in China, no wonder why I'm getting all these knockbacks.
Yeah.
And I've already have over 3 million tokens in my wallet, and I said, I gotta have to stop that. Otherwise, I can't eat the tokens. I can't pay my bills with tokens.
True. True. Look, I
Yeah.
think go wider, and I
Mm,
would recommend it. Go wider and start helping businesses in a wider
mm,
sense. So instead of organizing your webinars about
yeah.
cryptocurrency, organize
Mm,
your webinars or organize your events about a business. In last few
yeah.
years, think of that as you solved a lot of problems about the
Mm,
place you come from.
yeah.
People paid you a lot of good money, and you got
Mm,
to find that very specific niche in that market. What
mm,
have you done in last 10 years, and which you
mm,
can pick it out and teach people.
mm,
So
mm,
become that authority in that space. So if you want to
mm,
become a business coach and you want to be an
yeah.
authority, to be an authority. So business coach is very generic word. So I would
Mm,
say pick something else out of that and what else you want to help with. So keep that. I
mm,
think this is collectively for every one of us. So we don't get attached to the idea. So don't get attached to the one concept. Have built your personal brand on that, and rest of the other thing could be your products,
mm,
right? So think of that as my example, right? It is I do blockchain work as well. I do a normal business strategy as well. I run my workshop. I run this. So there's a different products available in my business. So I would recommend you guys think about you as an identity in itself, and you as a person, and you as a brand. Once you are there as a brand, then you can have a different products. But blockchain could be one of your products, or you could have something else. You're training people to do certain things. You might be there, the process guy. You go and put systems in people's businesses. Could be
mm,
anything. You might help people setting up accounting software. I don't know. Could be anything, right? So these are your products. So don't get mixed up with your products and yourself. Your products are not your identity. You are a separate person. So
mm,
don't start believing that you are the guy for everything in that space. So
yeah.
you are a person, and then you make other people, right?
Mm. Yeah, I think that's really good because I've been expanding in that area, traditional business sense, and
Yeah,
my business partner who I work with, we possibly could land a gig with Moore Stevens.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we're doing that business orthodontic sort of thing. We're doing process improvement. We're solving the problem that internally departments, they don't talk to each other. They're creating walls between each
That's
business unit.
perfect.
So we're going there. We're trying to do that,
Yeah,
and that's how we go. But in terms of blockchain, it's still my passion. I'll
that's
probably have
okay.
to put a bit of a pause on that right now.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I think have look what I have is today, right? So
Mm,
all the things which I was running about blockchain, it's sort of
yeah.
paused. I'm not doing anything.
Mm,
I've got a book
yeah.
coming up for a blockchain, which is there,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
but what is happening is I'm not stopping my business side. So blockchain is still there. It's part of my
Yeah.
brand, but the other things
Yeah.
I've started doing it as well along with that. So
Yeah.
yeah, start doing other stuff as well. Start organizing your workshops. Start doing other stuff as well.
Yeah, because I think that Oxford certificate is getting me a lot of attention from the
Yeah,
blockchain world, but it's definitely not getting
there's
me
no
money.
money. Yeah. So did I
There's
tell
no
you
money.
guys? Did I tell you guys an
Mm,
example of one of my friends' example? Right. So tell you what happens.
mm,
Um, there is a two type of things, right? You really need to, or we all need to understand this one bit is, whichever target market we're trying to serve today, does my target market has a money to pay me for that work which I'm trying to do? So a friend of
mm,
mine about 4 years ago, he was really good, a video gamer guy. He loved his PlayStation and he loved his Xbox. He spent pretty much the entire weekends playing the video games. So one of the things which he decided at the time, so he was one of the entrepreneurial guy in our bunch of people, and he said, I want to create a course to teach people how to play a video game a bit better and how to go from this stage or level to the next level really quickly. So he created a course. I don't know, a couple of call to action. I don't know which one, which video games were there, but he created a course, really well course, and he wanted to sell that for $97. 97 wasn't much, right? But he tried to sell that course for at least 12 months. Nobody bought that course because the problem was the video game, the players, the people who were playing, they were under 18. For them to have money or credit card, they had to go to mom and dad, and none of the mom and dad wanted to pay for how to play a video game bit better. So we really need to understand it from our side as well. Does my clientele or does my target market has money to pay me for this? So all right, so that's for every one of us, right? So we really need to find, if you're trying to target something, do they have actually money to pay you? So all right, Pehan, anything else?
No, that's cool. That's good.
Cool.
That's
All
good.
right,
Good stuff, man. Yeah.
thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, cheers, brother. Talk to you soon.
Mm.
All right, who else we have here? Let's see. Who else we got? Anybody else? Let me speak to some other people. Wick, you there, Wick? You want to talk? Can you talk? Or Ganesh, you there? I think we got a couple of other people as well. Who else we got? We got Simon. No, we don't have Simon here today. All right, Wick, you okay to talk? Or Ganesh, you okay to talk? Sorry, I can't see you, chat. I'll let you guys open up. So let's get started, guys. All right, no worries, Ganesh. I'll leave you guys to it. So let's talk about something other important stuff. So I really want to talk about. I don't know if you guys haven't started doing marketing. I've been spending a lot of money and time in marketing stuff, right? So one of my biggest learning, I've spent a lot of time, money learning about the marketing skill. In last 8 months or 10 months, I've spent about $100,000 to $150,000 on Facebook ads. So I've got a lot of money gone in, and that's about my business, right? So one of my mentor always said, if something is working, if your advertisement is working, you just multiply the ad budget into that. So that's hence the reason there's a lot of money gone into the ad. So let me give you some of the learnings from Facebook ads, right? So just a quick question. Would you like to learn that? Would you like to know what happened? What I learned? Want to know Facebook ads, how that works now? Something changed. Uh, Let me see if you guys want to know. Do you actually want to know who's there? All right, let me share this screen with you guys. All right, let me talk to you about Facebook ads, what happens, and what I learned. So let me share this screen. Okay. Let me quickly talk about this, share this, and whiteboard. All right. Let me talk to you guys about this, right? So what happened in the Facebook, sorry guys, I wouldn't be able to see the chat. Let me quickly draw this and I'll come back to the chat. Right. Okay, so what I want to talk about, what happened is, right? So this is if you guys are going to be doing Facebook ads, you really need to be mindful of this, right? So let me talk through what happens. So what I've been doing from last many, since I started doing Facebook ads, and I've seen a lot of people doing the same thing as well. So what they do is, this is what happened. The standard Facebook ad goes like this, right? So this is the Facebook ad, right? So what people do is, they say event webinar. So this is what they do. And then it goes to this place, which is called the landing page. So this, what most of the people been doing it, right? So they do like this. So you have this thing called Facebook ad. And most people did this, and most people doing it. If you look at it, any Facebook ad, I don't know if you do that, you click on the Facebook ad and see what happens in that Facebook ad. So most of the Facebook ad looks like this these days. You have a Facebook ad, they say, okay, I'm the guy, I'm the girl, this is what we do, this is my event, and click on this, and there is a button there, tiny little buttons there, and like this, tiny little button there, and you click on the button, then you go to the landing page. That's pretty much all these people been doing it from last. So let me show you a new way of doing it, which I've been doing it, right? So this is existing people doing it, and I'm so surprised people haven't learned the better way of doing it. So 90% of the people I've seen doing this. So if you see any Facebook ad, click on that Facebook and see what people are doing. So what I've decided now, so I'm putting a strategy together now thinking about it from last 3 months. And this is my last 3 months planning on the way the ad's going to work in the future about our business. So keep in mind that I don't ad only in Melbourne. My advertisement goes globally. So my advertisement is in the US, my advertisement in the other cities other than Melbourne. There's a lot of webinar, other training stuff happens in the other part of the cities as well. So Sydney, Queensland, and New Zealand, Singapore, and also the US. So the next way the people doing the marketing is like this. So let me explain something before that. So what people are doing today. So this is how the market works, right? So we have 3 types. So this is your market, 10%, 80%, and 10%. When you actually market to people, right? So when you start doing the marketing to people, these are the 10% people, they are ready to buy today. These are the people who are ready to buy from you today, right now, or either from you or either from anybody. They are the looking to people. They are the people who are looking. This is the other type of people. These are the people, they will buy in next 30 days to 12 months, depending on what you're selling, right? So they're ready to buy next 30 days to 12 months. These are the people, they will never buy from you. The 10% people just don't buy. They find some other solutions. They find natural remedies. They find things just going to get better itself. They are the people who don't buy. So what's been happening is, if you look at the Facebook ad I described earlier, so think of that as Facebook ad, which I described, this is only for these kind of people. Only for these people who are ready to buy today. You're only targeting. So because what happens is, when people are ready to buy, they see the ad and they take the action, they go to your landing page and they subscribe, they buy, they do something, right? They're ready to buy, they're taking the action. But what most of the people are ignoring today is these people. These people, right? Completely ignoring this 80% of the people. They don't even know what these people are, what they're doing. They're not actually looking at this 80% of the people at all. So this 80% is completely getting ignored, these guys. So any of the marketing which actually does this work, this 80%, cater for this 80%, takes the complete chunk of the marketing, right? So this, if you talk about this, this takes the market, right? So if you look at your marketing today about anything that has to cater for this 80%, not this last 10%. If you're saying to people today, this is my webinar, this is my class, this is my product, come and buy from me, what's going to happen is only 10% people. And this is the biggest thing. Most of your competition today, they're targeting this 10%. So if you look at your competition today, they're just targeting this 10% and they're not targeting anybody else. Because they're targeting this 10%, what's happening is they're missing out on the big chunk. So if you're thinking of designing marketing today, you need to start thinking about this. So let me explain you now what I am doing with the marketing. So what I've realized in last 6 months, nobody just buy from you. They don't just decide one day. They say, okay, I'm going to wake up today and I'm just going to go out and buy from Jag. They don't do that. That doesn't work this way. I wish this does, but it doesn't happen like this. So nobody just wake up to buy from you. So what happens is people been seeing you and looking at you and creating and building a perception about you from last few months or years, whatever that probably. So they have a certain perception about you as a person, as a business brand today. Some of you guys have people have a perception about you that you are a blockchain guy. Some of people have that you are an accountant, you are project manager. Everybody out there in your group have a perception about you to do certain things. How do you deal with that? That's a different thing. But you need to understand it. People have a perception about your brand. And the reason they're buying or they're not buying from you is because you don't meet with the criteria they have in a perception. So what happens is, remember that we talked about it a few times, that this is your client, right? If this is your client, and if your client have certain perception about you, means that they have certain image about you. So they have this image. And when they meet you today, they come and see you and they say, this is, let's look at this is, so just remove this. This is Jag here. And Jag trying to speak to these guys and saying, these guys this way. And I'm trying to speak to these guys and say, this is what I do, this is what happens, this is what I do. The moment, whatever perception these guys made about me, there is a mismatch, they don't buy from that person. If there is a mismatch, they don't buy. If there is a match, people straight away buy. If there is a match, people buy. If there is a mismatch in the perception, people don't buy, right? The moment there is a mismatch, people don't buy. So this is one discovery, one biggest thing. So now the question is, how do you build that perception? So remember we talked about it, called framing and frame control, right? So you guys are pretty good at familiar with the thing called framing and frame control. What is frame control? Framing is people have a perception about you and your brand today. What framing does is, or frame-based business does is, or frame-based method, whatever you want to call it, or marketing does is, it actually builds certain perception about you and your business in the marketplace. So this is what you can do as a business, is change that perception. So you go in there in your client world and change the image about your business. You can modify that, you can change that by doing certain things. So let me show you how does that look like in a marketing world. So what I'm doing today. So this is what it looks like in a marketing world. So in the marketing space, I want to build a certain perception. So it's going to happen like this. So this is a Facebook funnel. This is the Facebook funnel going to look like. So this, So I want to create a certain perception about me in the marketplace, right? So this is a Facebook ad funnel. So I'm not saying to people anymore, this is what I do, come and buy from me. I'm not saying that anymore. I'm not saying that, look at my Facebook ad and then you can go and register it. So in next month, what I'm bringing together is, this is my last 3 months work, right? So look at it really carefully. So I'm talking about video. Who remember our experts quadrant? Do you guys remember the experts quadrant at all? How do you become an authority? How do you become an expert in that space? Remember the experts quadrant? We had why, what, how. Remember that? So now we have video 1, video 2, and we have this video 3. So this is my entire strategy, guys. So I'm giving you guys to look at it and see how that works at the back end. So what I'm saying is to people is, all these videos are based on why. Why? Why? Remember the quadrant? So the thing is now, when people watch this video for 50%, they go and watch this video after this. So they go to video number 4. Video 4. This is 5. Oh, sorry, video 4. Under this video number 4. This is video number 5. This is video number 6. So if somebody watches my video number 1, they're going to go to video number 4. And video number 4 is going to talk about what? 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 Means that what I do. What? So once that's done, in here are the content exactly as the experts quadrant, talking about how. How. And how. So all that experts quadrant now coming into the marketing space. So if you look at the video number 1, video number 2, and video number 3. So if somebody watches my video number 1 for 10%, whatever the duration is, only watches for 10%, I'm going to show them video number 2. If somebody watches my video number for at least 25%, I'm going to show them video number 3. At any point in 5 videos, somebody watches my video for more than 50% or 60%, they're going to go to what type of videos. In the what type of videos, if anybody watches my video more than 50%, they're going to go to my how type of videos. In the how type of videos, there is going to be a call to action. In that call to action, everything down there will be asking them to come to the workshop. So this is the event. If I can write it down, text. That's going to be event funnel. So they're asking them to come to the event. Cool. So all of them is going to be coming here like this. This, this, and this. So people who are out there, they're not just going to get it and look at it. They're going to be coming to see that event. So what it means is the people who are turning up at the workshops, they are more qualified people. They're not just randomly coming in. Some people, they don't like the content. They don't like my face. They don't like something about me. They're not going to turn up. Right? So which is pretty cool that I'm going to eliminate them based on where they are. right? So I don't need to wait for that, right? So I don't need to randomly get people to come in, which is awesome. So this is the strategy I'm going to be using in my next event, not this one, which is coming up on 20th, not this one, the one after, which I'm going to be doing. So this is pretty cool. I'm super excited in that space because I really wanted to create that perception. So I've been thinking from last few months is how can we talked about this imaging, we talked about this framing and frame control so many times. So my struggles been from last few months been how can I apply this in my marketing? Because I can do it really well one-on-one when I speak to somebody. It's really easy to do it because you are there. You can talk through it. I've got my stories. I can intrigue them. I know this is the ego. I know all that. How can I change that in my marketing and start speaking to people in their language so I can actually start changing their frame, start changing their perception, start changing their view of the world about me and my products? So that's been my struggle. So what I discovered in last few months is it's like I created a word called perception marketing, right? So perception marketing, which I did it, means that you do a marketing in a way that you ended up creating a perception or changing the perception in your potential client's mind about your product and your services. And then I started to sort of do a bit more research. Then I've sort of discovered, holy crap, all these big brands been doing it for a long, long time, but we never thought of that way. Or I personally haven't never thought that. Like say, for example, McDonald's been doing it for a long, long time. Happy Meal is nothing happy about McDonald's Happy Meal. But they still call it Happy Meal because in kids' perception, in kids' the mind, in that space, that people buy Happy Meal to feel happy, to they get a toy, they make them happy. So we know that is nothing happy about it. We know that McDonald's is not the best restaurant in the world, but it's just like in kids' perception, that's the best place to go because that's what they've been doing. Look at Nike. Nike is a perfect example in that space as well. If you look at Nike, Nike's slogan is just do it. Why it's just do it? What it means is Nike's been trying to get people out of their comfort zone so that everybody can do exercise. Apple is the other example, right? Apple's been building the perception is if you are, hustler, if you are a misfit, if you are the entrepreneurial type of guy, if you are odd one out, if you are the, square peg in the round hole, then Apple is for you. For misfit, if you are a misfit guy, Apple products are for you. And they've been doing it for a long, long time. And people who consider themselves misfit, they buy it. Harley Davidson, perfect example, is just a motorcycle company, freaking nothing else is there. They build a perception in the marketplace is people even have tattoos about Harley Davidson on their body. Like think of that is how good that perception is. Like Harley Davidson is not a bike. It's a more than bike. It's a tribe of people, right? So they built a perception. If you want a rugged life, if you want a freedom, if you want to fly free, if you are, don't want to stay in the norms, and if you want to fight with the system, what do? You go and ride Harley Davidson, and that's the way Harley's been promoted. It's not just a bike. And then I started looking, I was like, holy crap, why people are doing this way and why we never thought doing this, why people would do instead the way. So when I started thinking this way, I created this thing called perception marketing. And the perception marketing is nothing more than changing or applying the frame control, which you guys learned, to people's perception and changing that perception the way you want it to be changed, whatever that might be. If you want people to think in a certain way, you can change that because that's what you do it, right? Don't let them think whatever you want them to think. Help them think in a certain way so that they can or change that perception from their side. So that's what it is overall, right? So hope this makes sense. So this is my next month's strategy. So if you guys personally like to build a brand and stuff, like come into this weekend's workshop because it's completely different. One of the things you'll see is how I applied this perception marketing and all that in the presentation as well. So this is very different. You guys probably haven't seen that because this is something new, or new product I was bringing into the market, right? So new product, new brand, new something. So sorry, not a new brand, my brand, but new product. Everything is new in that space. So that'll be good to speak to you guys if you want to come along. All right, so let's have a chat. Any questions before this? It's almost 7 o'clock. Any questions? What's happening in your side of the world? Why no action? What's going on? What's stopping? What's not happening in your side of the world? What needs to happen for you to take certain actions? What you need? What sort of accountability you need? Are you looking for somebody to be an accountability buddy? Are you looking for some sort of help for people to basically kick on your backside on Monday morning and say, you have to do this work? What are you looking for so that we can provide you? Because remember that this group is there to help you guys succeed, right? We want to make sure that you guys taking that step. Without action, everything is just information. Information alone has no meaning. So what are you guys doing, or what help you need today so that we can help you guys and provide that help? So raise your hand. You know where we are. You know where you need to seek help, what you need to ask. But let me know if you have any other questions. Let me clear this. Let me open this up. All righty. Any questions, guys? All right. So before I leave, I just want to give this message to you guys, right? So remember this, guys. We as a company, we as a brand, we are right behind you, right? There is nothing, seriously, nothing more important for us as a company than your success. Because believe it or not, we only exist because of you guys. If you are not there and we can't make you successful, that our meaning of being a company is not fulfilled. Our mission is to make you successful in your adventure, whatever journey or path you might choose. So the only thing stopping you today is yourself, because our sport is right behind you. You need to come out of that cocoon you was hiding and come out and take that action, because unless or until you take that action, it's just going to be really hard for us to take you to the next level. Like, I know some of you guys are started doing their work. Some of you guys already started making pretty cool amount of money. Some of you guys are still getting started. Some of you guys are still thinking, what do you need to do? Some of you guys are waiting for some miracle to happen. Some of you guys are just way too comfortable, way too comfortable, because you need to start asking this question. The reason you're comfortable, because your why is not big enough. Means that if you wanted to be financially free, if you want to leave the job and start your own business, if you wanted to do all that, the reason to do that is not big enough. The reason has to be big enough, which is going to make you take that action. Without action, you and I have nothing, because you need to take that action. I keep doing this work week after week, week after week, week after week. I organize it. I run my workshop. I still do that. I'm still doing it. I've got a workshop this coming Saturday. Why? Because I am doing the work. I'm not just, preaching about it. I'm actually taking action and organizing the work, doing the work as well. So take that step, take that action, come out of the comfort zone. You know where we are. We are right behind you. If you need any help, you know where I am. Please raise your hand and ask for help, because unless you ask for help, it's just going to be really hard by yourself. So please ask for help. Let's go out and make a difference, because you need to understand there's a lot of lives rely on you. You're the guy or girl can make a huge difference globally, not in your family, not only in your community, but also out there globally. So take that responsibility of being the person who change or changing lives. If you are one of those guys or girls, make that impact, take that decision, take the step. All right. We'll speak to you guys next week. It's going to be a big week this week for me personally. Got a lot of things to do. I wish you guys best of luck for this week. Go and take the step, take that action, and come out of the comfort zone and do the work. All right, guys. Thank you. And I'll speak to you guys next week on Wednesday, same time. Cheers.